So, back for another VGC guide, and this time we're looking at Roaring Moon. It's going to be very interesting to see how many players opt for Roaring Moon and how many players opt for Hydreigon. Is Hydreigon going to disappear? It shouldn't. They both do actually very different things. Like, they can both go for Tailwind, and that's probably one of the strongest things that Roaring Moon can do, because it is quite fast to be able to make use of it. But Hydreigon's the special attacker, Roaring Moon's the physical attacker. That's already a big difference. Draco Meteor is a massive difference. You kind of have to go for acrobatics if you want to do proper damage with Roaring Moon, so the coverage is completely different as well. So it's going to be interesting to see as we go forwards. Obviously, everyone's going to be using Roaring Moon just as this is the brand new toy kind of thing, but will it be better than Hydreigon in the meta, or will Hydreigon still be slightly better because of the special attacker and Draco and all that? So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, this is the Roaring Moons that I've come up with. So 119, super fast. There was me just saying, Siri. Okay, I managed to catch Siri like a second into it, nice. Yeah, it was just saying how fast Roaring Moon is, and it's faster than Hydreigon, but I'm running it slower than Hydreigon's. Because you can obviously go for just 252 max, and I think it's like 220 or 228. One of them gets the attack boost still. So yeah, you can still very much go for that. I'm going for something slightly different because if you're going for Tailwind / Dragon Dance, you don't need the speed as such. And I'm going for the attack boosting booster energy, so I want the most amount of damage that I can do while still being bulky and actually reasonably fast. This is good enough. This outspeeds Great Tusk. And the fact that you're going to be doubling your speed, or increasing it by 1, just increasing your speed with whatever that slot is going to be, means that I don't think you need the speed on the Roaring Moon. There's a lot of bulk potential that is missed out if you go max speed on Roaring Moon. You're going to be Tailwinding or Dragon Dancing most of the time. You probably don't need it. You will sometimes, but probably not most of the time. I would argue the bulk is going to come into play a lot more otherwise. What the bulk does is it survives a Drain Punch or a Thunder Punch from a Iron Hands. So, like, you can survive in and out of the Terra. If you see on the open team sheet that it is the Assault Vest and it's got Drain Punch and Thunder Punch, you know that Roaring Moon can take one guaranteed. Does not matter whether you're in or out of Terra. Obviously, it's ideal if they Drain Punch you as you turn into a Flying type, but yeah, you know that you can survive one. It OHKOs a max HP Golden Go with the booster energy Throat Chop, and then, like I said, it outspeeds Great Tusk. So everything seems perfectly balanced, and I really like this spread. So I'm going to be going forward with this one for sure. So yeah, Tailwind or Dragon Dance. That's the main debate. Because Throat Chop is likely the best of the dark moves. So you can run Crunch, you can run Jaw Lock as well. Is Jaw Lock there? Where's Jaw Lock? Jaw Lock as well. So they both, all three of them, Throat Chop, Jaw Lock, and Crunch, all have the same base power. So it's just about which secondary effect do you prefer. This can stop a Sylveon going for Hyper Voices. That is arguably going to put it above the others. Crunch will sometimes get a defense boost, and that will come into play. Like, it will for sure. Jaw Lock is nice for trapping, but it traps you as well. So that's the thing that puts me off Jaw Lock. If it was just the opponent can't switch, Jaw Lock all the way. But it's you as well. So then you commit to your Roaring Moon staying in, and I think the flexibility of being able to switch out is probably slightly better for Throat Chop, because there's going to be some sound-based moves. It can support the team if you're like got some special attackers. You can Throat Chop the Snarls as well. So yeah, I would lean towards Throat Chop. Crunch is still good. Jaw Lock is still good. It just depends on which one you prefer. You definitely have acrobatics though. Flying type Terra acrobatics is the main reason to reuse Roaring Moon. If you're not using that, you're going to have to be using quite an interesting set to justify not using it. Oh, here we go. Here's an interesting set to justify not using acrobatics. So, get Scale Shot. That can be affected by loaded dice. So then you get guaranteed a 100 base power move. Could be 125 base power dragon move. So you don't have to go for something like Outrage. You don't have to go for Dragon Claw. Like, this is stronger than Dragon Claw is. So, yeah, Scale Shot is quite nice. It can miss. So be aware of that. It can also give you a speed boost. But it also drops your defense. Be aware of that. So Scale Shot could be quite nice. You get Terra Blast as your fire coverage. Like, you could have Fire Fang, but that's too weak. You probably want Terra Fire as your Terra type anyway, so you make use of the coverage of Dragon and Fire, because that's near perfect coverage. So yeah, Scale Shot and Terra Blast could be reasonable. I would argue this is likely leaning towards more a gimmicky set, but if you need the Roaring Moon, if you need a Dragon type on your team rather than a Flying type, then this could be okay as well. And you definitely could run either Tailwind or Dragon Dance. Basically on any Roaring Moon, the debate is going to be Dragon Dance or Tailwind. So yeah, this is just an alternative. It doesn't have to be Flying. Still probably should, but it doesn't have to be. And this is another alternative to the Flying type. You don't need to be going for just the Throat Chop damage. This is going to be able to support as well. It gets both Breaking Swipe and Snarl. So you can still go for super powerful acrobatics and set your Tailwinds, but then you can do extra support with Breaking Swipe and Snarl as well. So then you'd be able to get some nice damage reduction. This is going to be a fantastic support Pokemon if you want to be going with this set. It's going to be fine if you just go for regular old Tailwinds and Throat Chop and all that. You do sacrifice Protect, and on this set I would recommend the Speed Boost instead, because you want to be able to Snarl something like a Flutter Mane before it attacks, Snarl the Iron Bundles and all that. So getting the Speed Boost on the supportive one is likely better, because you'll be able to do what you need to do before the opponent attacks. So yeah, so just keeping the same bulk. Then it was just outspeeding a Garchomp and still getting as much attack as possible while not getting the attack boost, getting the speed boost instead. So just a couple of other ways to run Roaring Moon. This is going to be a very good set. This is going to be a gimmicky one. This is going to be likely the most common one, and it's just, is it Tailwind or is it Dragon Lance? But this is a fantastic Pokemon.